read you your history lesson.
Would you rather be sitting at the table listening to the professor, or are you having more fun presiding over me?
What a precocious thing to say.
Oh, admit it, you'd be just as bored. I'm sure you're glad to sit here and read me stories about Alexander the Great.
William the Conqueror, now please pay attention. They found it advisable to go with Edgar to meet William and offer him the crown.
What should we play, Dinah? You can't really play cards, though. Come here, you can help me play solitaire.
William's conduct at first was moderate, but the insolence of his Normans.
Where can I put the Queen of Hearts? What do you think, Dinah? You're no help.
But he was persuaded to go with Edgar too. Alice? Alice, are you not listening to me?
I'm afraid I am not, Edith.
Are you playing cards with your cat? What a peculiar thing to do.
Well, she is much more interesting company than you at the moment.
I'm just doing as Mother instructed. You needn't be so difficult.
That book needn't be so difficult. You forget that I am only 8.
Alice, it is very important for you to learn.
I don't see what could be so important about a book without any pictures in it.
Alice, when you're older, you'll realize there's a great many books for the reading without pictures in them.
If I were to write a book, it would be nothing but pictures.
Then you wouldn't have written one, would you?
A picture is worth 1,000 words, they say.
Be that as it may, these are important facts for you to know if you want to understand the world.
Well, it is a dreadfully boring world if that's what I need to understand it.
What nonsense.
Exactly. If I had a world, it would be nothing but nonsense. Nothing but what it is, and what it was it wouldn't be. And there would be no use in trying to understand anything because nothing could be understood. And everyone would be able to do exactly what they feel.
I'm getting very tired of this, Alice.
Fine, I'll listen.
He was persuaded to go with Edgar to meet William and offer him the crown.
That's exactly how it would be, though, Dinah. In my world, you really could keep me company. You'd be able to talk. Don't look at me like that, you would. All the animals would, and they would wear clothes and live in houses, just like people. And it would always be tea time, so there would be no time to study. People would be able to do exactly what they feel, no restrictions at all. The sun is making me very sleepy. Wake me when we go in for tea.
And then when they reach...
Edith! Alice!
Alice! It's tea time, Alice.
What is it?
You fell asleep while I was reading.
I'm sorry, Edith, but how was I not to?
Never mind. Mother's calling us in for tea. Gather your things and come along. We'll finish the lesson later. Oh, I left my book. Could you fetch it for me?
I'll get it. Where is that wretched book?
Alice, hurry up. We'll be late for tea.
Looking as best I can, Edith.
Oh dear, I shall be too late.
I know, Edith, I heard you the first time.
I didn't say anything, and mind your tongue.
Well, someone certainly said something.
Oh, my fur and whiskers, whatever shall I do?
Oh, it's just a rabbit. There's nothing so remarkable about that, Dinah. It's just a rabbit with a waistcoat and a watch. What could a rabbit be in such a hurry for?
We'll be late for tea. Where are you going?
Oh, be right there, Edith. Dinah, come. Mr. Rabbit, where are you going?
Oh, the queen will have my head for sure.
Oh, now where did he go? Find me something interesting and he leaves. You first, Dinah. Fine, then, me first. Mr. Rabbit, are you in here? I really wanted to ask. Oh, Dinah, help! I think I'm going to. Will this fall never come to an end? After this, I shall think nothing of tumbling downstairs. How brave they'll all think me at home.
in the golden afternoon, full leisurely we glide. For both our oars, with little skill, by little arms are plied, while little hands make vain pretense our wanderings to guide.
Where am I now? Dear, I'll never get back the way I came.
Oh, my fur and whiskers, whatever shall I do?
Mr. Rabbit!
Oh.
Mr. Rabbit, come back! How do I get back with the... Now where did he go? Father. This door is locked. Well, if they're all locked, how will I ever get outside? Mr. Rabbit, are you still in here? Mr. Rabbit!
Leave me alone! I haven't got the time!
Then take me where you're going!
Stop pestering me!
But Mr. Rabbit! Oh, Father! He was very much interested, too. What have we here? This must go to one of the doors. Of course, it opens the smallest door in the room. What a lovely garden. I should very much like to see more. Even if my head would go through, it would be of very little use without my shoulders. I wish I could shut myself like that telescope Father has. I think I could, if I only knew how to begin. Was this here before? Drink me. Well, it's all very well to say drink me, but I think I ought to also see if it says poison. After all, if you drink from a bottle marked poison, it's bound to disagree with you sooner or later. What a curious feeling. I must be shutting like a telescope. This might end up be going out altogether like a candle. I wonder what it'll be like then. Oh no. Oh no. I forgot the key. Now what do I do? I ought to simply leave, but there's no use going back that way. This certainly wasn't here before. Eat me. Well, I'll eat it. And if I grow larger, then I can reach the key. And if I grow smaller, then I can just crawl beneath the door. Either way, I'll make it into the garden. Oh, curious, very curious, sir. Now I'm growing like the largest telescope that ever was. Ow! Oh, my poor little feet. Who's going to put my shoes on now? I'm sure I shan't be able. I'll be too far away to bother myself with that. Can anyone else help me? You should be ashamed of yourself. A great girl like you crying like this. Stop it this moment, I tell you. Everything was so normal yesterday. Now I'm huge and I'm stopped.
I'm late! Oh, the queen! Won't she be savage if she finds I'm late?
Mr. Rabbit!
What? Who goes there?
Up here, can you help me?
How did you get up there?
It was the cake. Can you get me down?
Oh, no, I haven't got the time.
Please?
What? Oh no, don't start crying! Oh dear!
Oh, dear. Dropped his fan. I wonder if I've somehow changed in the night. I can almost remember feeling different than when I awoke this morning. If I'm not the same, then who in the world am I? I'm sure I'm not Edith, for her hair has such long ringlets, and mine doesn't have any ringlets at all. And I can't possibly be Lorena, for I know all sorts of things, and she knows so little. I'll just see if I can remember all the things I used to. How doth the little crocodile in hoof his shining tail, and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale. How carefully he seems to grin, how neatly spread his jaws, to welcome little fishes in to gentle smiling jaws. That wasn't quite right. And when did I get so small again? Oh dear, things are worse than ever. I wish I hadn't cried so much. Now I'll be punished for it by drowning my own tears. That'll be a queer thing, surely. But everything is queer today. Hello there! Can you help me? Mouse, please!
Ah, cruel 3, in such an hour beneath such dreamy weather, to beg a tale of breath too weak to stir the tiniest feather. Yet, what can one poor voice avail against 3 tongues together?
Declared for him, and even Stuyvesant, the patriotic Archbishop of Canterbury, found it. Found it. I'm not really sure what it means.
I know what it means well enough. When I find something, it's generally a frog or a worm. The question is, what did the Archbishop find?
He found it. He found it advisable to go with Edgar Ackland to meet with William and offer him the crown.
Hello, my dear. Where did you come from?
From the water. Do you know how I might get drunk?
The lot of us are reading from this most ridiculous book. It seems to be doing the trick.
William's conduct at first was
That's Ian's book!
Excuse me, did you say something, my dear?
You should be quiet when being given a lecture. Where have I heard that before?
How are you feeling now?
I'm still wet!
Nonsense! In that case, I move this meeting adjourned in adoption of more energetic remedies.
Speak English! I don't know what half those words mean. I don't believe you do either.
What I was attempting to say is that in order to get us dry, I suggest a caucus race.
A caucus race!
Oh, how delightful! A caucus race!
Wait. What's a caucus race?
Oh, now you're talking.
Yes, I am talking.
What's a caucus race?
The best way to explain it is to do it. Now first, I draw a circle, like this. And then I stand in the middle, as such, and everyone picks a spot along the edge. Go, 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 go.
And then what?
And then you run. Just fine. Everyone, come claim a piece of candy as your prize. And you must have a prize yourself, my dear.
Well, the only other thing I have with me is this thimble.
Stand down. I present to you this most elegant Who's Dinah?
That is my cat. Cat! Oh yeah, she's a capital one for catching mice. And you should see her chasing birds. Why, she'll eat a little bird just as soon as she's seen one. Oh, that's not quite what I meant to say. You see, sure.
Oh!
Cat.
Imperious Prima flashes forth her edict to begin it. In gentler tones, Secunda hopes there will be nonsense in it, while Tertia interrupts the tale not more than once a minute.
Well, I wish I hadn't mentioned Dinah. Nobody seems to like her around here. Dinah, I wonder if I'll ever see you again. I haven't the slightest idea how I'm going to get home.
Oh, the queen, the queen! She'll have my head as sure as ferrets are ferrets!
Mr. Rabbit!
Mary Ann! What on earth are you doing out here? Go home quickly and fetch me a pair of gloves and a fan from my house. Go! Quickly! Go!
I'm not Mary Ann. My name is... Well, I'm not really sure who I am.
Whoever you are, get my stuff this instant!
Yes, sir, Mr. Rabbit. Maybe if I get his things, then I'll have time to help me. Weird seems to be running errands for a rabbit. Oh? Let's see. If I were a rabbit, where would I keep a pair of gloves and a fan? Here. Oh, now for the gloves. Cake. I am a bit hungry after all that running. Probably won't mind if I have a little piece. Oh no, not this again! Stop it! Stop! I liked it much better at home when I wasn't always growing larger and smaller and being ordered around by mice and rabbits. I almost wish I'd never gone down that rabbit hole. And yet it is rather curious. When I used to read fairy tales, I fancied that this kind of thing really would happen. And now here I am in the middle of one. There ought to be a book written about me. When I'm grown, I'll write one. Well, I'm already grown now, I suppose. There's certainly no room for me to grow anymore.
Mary Ann! Mary Ann, where's my stuff? Pat, where are you?
I'm over here, Your Honor, digging for apples.
Digging for apples indeed. Come over here, I need your help.
What is it, Your Honor?
What does it look like?
An arm, Your Honor.
An arm? What fills my whole window?
But it's an arm nonetheless.
Well, it's got no business being there. Get rid of it.
How am I supposed to get rid of an arm from a window?
Just do it, you coward. There's a monster in my house.
But...
Oh, go get Bill.
Oi, Bill! Nothing. Climb up the side of the house. What are they doing?
What?
Climb up to the chimney.
What?
We've got to get this thing from the inside.
Good heavens.
What did he say?
Do you think the chimney's wide enough?
I'm not too sure about this.
Get down there. The chimney? Poor Bill's got to come down the chimney, has he? They seem to put everything on poor Bill. Certainly wouldn't want to be in his place. The fireplace is narrow, but I think I can manage a good kick. Bill? Oi, I'm stuck. Give me a moment.
Ah! Quick! Open!
Bill, what happened?
Tell us.
I'm still too flustered to tell you. All I know is something jumped at me like a jack-in-the-box. Up I go like a skyrocket.
You sure did, old boy.
We'll have to burn down the house.
If you do, I'll send Dinah after you. What are they doing now? It's getting very warm in here. I'm shrinking. Ow. Oh, the poor rabbit. His house is burning down and I'm not even inside anymore.
Where
Anon, to sudden silence won. In fancy they pursue the dream child, moving through a land of wonders wild and new. In friendly chat with bird or beast, and half believe it true.
That is much better, I think. Now, Then again, it is his fault.
Oh, I'm so late. The Queen will be mad for sure.
Mr. Rabbit!
Mary Ann, where have you been? I had to fetch my own pair of gloves from my enormous house and from an enormous monster, and I had to burn down my house.
I am not Mary Ann. My name is Alice, and furthermore, I am not your housemaid. You ought to tell a person if you keep taking your house that makes someone grow like that.
Well, whoever you are, take this to the Duchess's estate. It is a letter from the Queen. Play croquet. I would take it myself, but I'm already late as it is.
Fine, if you're in such a hurry, I'll deliver it for you. Where does the Duchess live?
And you will pay to prepare for my booth.
We'll try that house over there. If the Duchess doesn't live there, then I bet they know where she does live. Oh, excuse me. May I ask who lives here? You may. Who lives here? The Duchess. Could I speak with her? You could. Will you open the door for me? I will. There's a visitor. Send them away. She has a letter. Very well. Pig! Excuse me, are you the Duchess? There is certainly too much pepper in that soup.
Who are you?
My name is Alice. I have a letter to give you from the Queen.
Very well. The Queen wants me to play croquet today. Why didn't the old cow send it sooner?
Would you tell me why your cat grins like that?
It's a Cheshire cat, that's why. Pig!
Beg your pardon.
I was speaking to the baby.
I didn't know Cheshire cats grinned. In fact, I didn't know cats could grin.
They all can and most of them do.
Well, I don't know of any that do.
Ha! You don't know much, and that's a fact.
Please mind what you're doing.
If everyone minded their own business, this world would go around a lot faster.
Please be careful with your baby.
You may feed him for a bit if you like.
Me?
I must go get ready to play croquet with the Queen.
What am I to do with the baby?
Oh, whatever you like. I don't particularly care. Good day.
Well, I ought to simply leave. But if I don't take him with me, they're sure to kill him. Would it be murder to leave him behind? Don't grunt. If you're going to turn into a pig, I will have nothing more to do with you. Where can I take a baby in this place? What am I going to do with a baby when I get it home? Settle down, child. I'm trying to... Oh! If it had grown up, it would have made a dreadfully ugly child. But it makes a rather handsome pig, I think. Duchess's cat. Cheshire cat, would you tell me which way I ought to go?
Well, that depends on where you want to go.
Well, I don't really care
Well, then it
what...
doesn't really matter where you go.
As long as I get somewhere.
Well, that's bound to happen if you walk long enough.
Cheshire cat, would you tell me which sort of people live about here?
Right. In this direction lives the Mad Hatter.
Oh, no, thank you. Perhaps there's someone else?
In that direction lives the March Hare.
Thank you. I think I shall visit him.
He's mad too, you know.
I don't want to go among mad people.
But we're all mad here. I'm mad, you're mad.
How do you know I'm mad?
Why, you're here, so you must be.
How do you know you're mad?
Well, a dog wags its tail when it's pleased and growls when it's angry. I growl when I'm pleased and wag my tail when I'm angry. Therefore, I am mad. Are you, by the way, are you going to play croquet with the Queen?
I would very much like to, but I haven't been invited.
Oh, you shall see me there. I love croquet. By the way, what became of the baby?
It turned into a pig.
I knew it would.
I wish you wouldn't keep appearing and vanishing so suddenly. You're making me quite dizzy.
As you wish.
And ever as the story drained the wells of fancy dry, and faintly strove that weary one to put the subject by. The rest next time. It is next time, the happy voices cry.
Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder where you're at. Up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at. Perhaps the hare might be mad after all. I almost wish I'd gone and seen the hatter instead. Excuse me, may I sit down? No, 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 no. There is no room.
No room indeed.
There is plenty of room. Would you like a biscuit? I don't see any biscuits. That's because there aren't any. Well, then it was not very civil of you to offer them. Well, it wasn't very civil of you to sit down without being invited. Well, I didn't know it was your table. It is laid for a great many more than 3.
Your hair could use a cutting.
You shouldn't make personal remarks. It is very rude.
Why is a raven like a writing desk?
Well, I believe I can guess that. Are you saying you know the answer to it? Yes, exactly. Well, then you should say what you mean. I do. At least I mean what I say. It's the same thing, really. Well, you might as well say I like what I get. It's the same as I get what I like.
You might say that I read when I sleep. It's the same as I sleep when I read.
It's the same thing with you.
I don't understand. The dormouse is asleep again.
That's just what I was going to remark on.
Have you guessed the riddle yet?
No, I give up. What's the answer?
I haven't the slightest idea.
You ought to do something better with your time than asking riddles that have no answers.
Oh, if you knew time as well as I did, you wouldn't talk of wasting it. You're wasting him.
I do not know what you mean.
Of course you don't. I doubt you've ever spoken to time.
Perhaps not, but I know that you have to beat the time when you're learning music.
Oh, he won't stand beating. If you kept on good terms with time, he'd do almost anything you want at the club.
I still don't understand.
Suppose it was 9 o'clock in the morning and time for school. You'd only have to whisper into time, and he'd make it 1:30 and time for dinner!
I wish it was. I've had nothing but tea cakes for a year. That would be grand. But I wouldn't be hungry for dinner so soon after breakfast.
Perhaps not at first, but you could keep it at 1:30 for as long as you liked.
Is that how you manage?
Not anymore. Time and I quarreled back in March at the great concert for the Queen of Hearts. I had to sing, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Bat. Do you know the song?
I know something like it.
I had barely finished the second verse when the Queen cried out, She's a murderer in the time off with her head!
How dreadfully savage.
Now, you won't do the thing I asked? It's only 6 o'clock.
Is that why there are so many tea things laying about?
Precisely! It is always tea time and there's never enough time to clean up the cups in between.
So you keep moving around the table as you're dirtying the dishes?
Exactly, my dear.
Well, then what happens when you reach the beginning again? Would you care for some more tea? I haven't had any tea yet, so I couldn't take more. You mean you couldn't take less?
You can always take more than nothing.
Nobody asked your opinion.
Well, who's making personal remarks now?
I don't think. Well, if you don't think, then you shouldn't speak. If that's how you feel, then I will just leave. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at. Up above the world you fly, like a tree in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at. I will certainly never go back there again.
Good day, my dear. How did you like the hatter and the hare?
I didn't. That was the stupidest tea party I have been to in all of my life.
I thought you didn't care to whom you spoke.
Well, I wanted to speak to someone who could help me get home.
You never said so.
What do you mean?
Well, you can't expect to get what you want if you assume people already know.
I have had enough of this. I don't think you plan to help me at all.
That is a harsh accusation, my dear.
I have a cat at home, and though she never speaks to me, she doesn't trick me either.
Where is home?
Oh, I would guess it's somewhere above ground from here, except we don't appear to be under any ground that I can see.
If you live above ground, how on earth did you come to be here?
Well, I fell down a rabbit hole, and then there was this door that was too small to go through, so I drank a potion that made me really small, and then I forgot the key, so I ate some cake, but then I was too big.
Yeah, people are often too big after eating cake.
I am leaving.
Wait. Did you say something about a rabbit hole?
Yes.
Oh, I know where that is. It's one of my favorite haunts when the Duchess is away.
Well, I don't see what good it would do me to go back there. I can't get back the way I came. Frankly, I don't know how the rabbit gets up and down.
He's a rabbit. How else do you think he gets along?
I don't know! Unless you can take me to someone who can help me get home, I don't think we have any more to say to each other.
Have you tried asking the rabbit himself?
I've been trying, but he's in too much of a hurry to bother himself with me, and I have lost track of him completely.
I know where he is, but you won't like it.
Why? Where is he?
He's with the Queen.
Queen?
Yes, and I can take you to her if you'd like.
Well, I'd rather not, but if it's the only way to get me home, I suppose I must.
All right, then lead the way.
Lead the way? Lead the way? Stop doing that! I can't follow you if you vanish!
In here. Here we are. I figured the rabbit must have left the door ajar.
But how did we...
But never mind. Now, the Queen lives at the little door at the end of the hall. And if you are still going to the croquet game, then I shall see you there.
The Queen lives in that lovely garden?
I'm afraid so.
Cheshire Cat, may I ask you a question?
Anything, my dear.
If she's the Queen of Hearts, then where are the Queens of Clubs, Diamonds, and Spades?
It would be wise not to mention them.
I see.
All right, well, good luck.
Aren't you coming to the croquet game?
Oh, I shall be there.
Very well. I'll manage much better this time. My key and my potion.
Tick tock, time slips away. Please won't you stay for one more day? Here we can make all our own rules. Cheshire Cat's smile can't compare to yours. Twilight creeps in as we explore. Disappear at the end of night, like fleeting dreams in morning's light. Let's run away, take my hand. It's you and I in Wonderland.
What a lovely garden! Such beautiful roses. I do hope I don't run into the Queen, though, if everything people say about her is true.
Quickly, we'll finish painting, it'll be our heads.
Careful, don't spill. Pardon me.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought it was the Queen.
Queen?
Where? Oh, the Queen isn't here. It's some little girl.
Yes, I wanted to ask what you were doing here.
We're painting the roses red.
Why on earth are you painting roses? You see, the Queen wanted red roses, but we planted white roses instead, and if the Queen sees them, it'll be her head. Oh, I've heard about the Queen. The Hatter told me that the Queen nearly ordered her head removed for murdering time.
There is no time. Help us finish painting the roses.
Oh, all right, I don't want anyone getting their heads removed. Oh no, what's happening?
The Queen.
Oh dear.
The Queen is coming. The Queen is coming.
Bow! Well, what's the use of a procession if we all have to lie down on our faces to where we can't even see it?
Shush, silly girl.
Who is this? Who, Your Majesty? The girl. I don't know, Your Majesty. Fool. What's your name, child?
Alice, Your Majesty.
And who are these?
How should I know? It's no business of mine.
How dare you? Off with her head!
Nonsense!
Consider, my dear, she is only a child.
Very well. You there.
Yes, Your Majesty.
What have you been doing to my roses?
Why, nothing, Your Majesty.
There is paint on my roses. Who planted white roses here?
I mean, you're great. It was the apes.
That wasn't true, it was the three!
Don't blame it on me. It was you who did the planting.
Enough! Off with both their heads.
Oh, dear.
Do you play croquet, my dear?
Yes, Your Majesty.
And let the games begin.
Nice day, isn't it?
So now you have time to speak to me?
Who are you?
Never mind. Where is the Duchess?
Oh, she's waiting to be executed.
What for?
She boxed the Queen's ears.
Hush!
See, the Queen came rather late and she said...
Then get to your places. Off with his head.
Dear, what will become of me? We're awfully fond of beheading people around here. It's amazing there's anyone left alive. Oh, how I wish I was home. Cheshire Cat. Now I shall have someone to talk to.
Good day. How are you getting along?
I don't think...
What's that?
I said I don't think...
One more time, dear.
I said...
There's no need to shout.
I don't think they play fairly at all.
How do you like the Queen?
I don't. Why, she's so likely to win that it's hardly worth finishing the game.
Who are you talking to?
It's a friend of mine, a Cheshire Cat.
Good day.
I don't like the look of it at all. However, it may kiss my hand if it likes.
I'd rather not.
How dare you! This cat must be removed! My dear, I wish to have this cat removed.
Off with its head.
Its head's already off.
Its head.
How are we to behead a head?
Oh, it's the Duchess's cat. You should ask her about it.
She's in prison. Bring her here.
My dear, how are we to behead a cat that's nothing but head?
Fool. We could behead any creature inside the body. Will only make it easier.
Of course, my dear.
Here comes the Duchess.
Where did that loathsome creature go?
You can't imagine how glad I am to see you again, dear. She seems much nicer now. Maybe it was the pepper that was making her so nasty.
Are you thinking again, my dear? It makes you forget to talk. I can't tell you what the moral to that is, but I'm sure I'll remember it soon.
Perhaps it doesn't have one.
Oh, nonsense. Everything has a moral if you can find it.
The game is going much better now.
Oh, so it is. The moral to that is, it's love that makes the world go round.
Somebody told me it was done by everybody minding their own business.
Oh, it's much the same thing. The moral to that is, take care of the scents and the sounds will take care of themselves.
How fond she is in finding morals and things.
You may be wondering why I don't put my arm around you. The reason is I'm doubtful of the temper of your flamingo.
He might bite.
Quite true. Flamingos and mustards both bite. The moral to that is, birds of a feather flock together.
Mustard's not a bird. It's a vegetable. It might not look like one, but it is.
I quite agree with you. The moral to that is, be what you would seem to be. To put it more simply, never imagine yourself not to be otherwise than what it would appear to others. That what you were or might have been was not otherwise than what you had been would have appeared to them to be otherwise.
I do not understand that.
Oh, that's nothing to what I could say if I had chose.
Please do not trouble yourself to make it any longer than that.
Oh, don't talk of trouble. I've made you a present of everything I've said thus far.
I'm sure glad people don't give birthday presents like that.
Are you thinking again, my dear?
I have a right to think if I please.
About as much right as pigs have to fly. The moral to that is a fine day, Your Majesty.
Now I give you fair warning. Either you or your head must be off. Take your choice. Take your cat.
Shalom. I dare say the Queen will be missing these sooner or later. Would you like to try one?
Tards, don't mind if I do.
Have you met the mock turtle yet, my dear?
No, Your Majesty. I don't even know what a mock turtle is.
It's what they make mock turtle soup from.
I've neither seen one nor heard of one.
Come then. He will tell you its history while he's waiting to become soup.
You are all pardoned. Make yourselves scarce and come back to work.
Thank goodness. I thought everyone really was going to lose their heads.
They are. And for good reasons.
I beg your pardon, Your Majesty.
Take this girl to see the mock turtle. I haven't the time to hear his final words, so you may give them to her. I have to go see to some executions I ordered.
Oh, what fun! What is your name, girl?
Alice, sir. What is fun, if I may ask?
The Queen. It is her fancy, you know. She spends all day ordering heads to be removed and never realizes that by the end of the day, everyone still has their necks attached. Now come along.
Everybody's always ordering me about around here. I've never been so thrown about in all my life. Is the mock turtle crying because he's going to be turned into soup?
Speak nothing of it. Try to keep his mind on something else. This girl would like to hear your history, good fellow.
Oh. Hello.
Yes, I am very interested in hearing what you have to say. I can only imagine the life a mock turtle must have lived.
And I'll tell her to sit down, both of you. And don't speak a word until I finish.
I don't see how he can finish if he doesn't ever begin.
Once I was a real turtle.
Thank you, sir, for your most interesting story.
When I was young, I went to school in the sea. The master was an old turtle. We used to call him Tortoise.
Well, why did you call him Tortoise if he wasn't one?
We call him Tortoise because he taught us.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself for asking such a simple question. Now go on, old fellow, don't be all day.
You may have never been to school in the sea.
I haven't.
Hold your tongue, really.
Well, our school did have the best of education. We went to school every day.
Well, I have been to a day school, too. You needn't be so proud of that.
With extras
Yes, we learned French and music.
and washing.
Certainly not.
Well, then your school wasn't really that great now, was it? At our school, we had, at the end of the bill, French, music, and washing as extras.
Well, you can't have needed it much living at the bottom of the sea.
Oh, I couldn't afford to take it. I only took the regular course.
What was that?
Reading and writing mostly. So dabbling in arithmetic, ambition, distraction, uglification, and derision.
Uglification? What is that?
I suppose you know what it means to beautify.
Why, yes, it means to make something prettier.
Right. Then if you don't know what it means to uglify, you are truly a simpleton.
What else did you learn?
Oh, well, there was ancient and modern, mystery, wisseography, and then there was drawing. The drawing master was an old conjure eel. He taught drawing and stretching and fainting in coils.
What was that
Oh, I was never really good at it. I was too stiff, especially now. The Griffin here never even took the class.
I had at the time. I went to the classical studies master. An old crap he was.
They taught laughter and grief.
So he did.
So how many hours a day did you do lessons?
10 hours the first, 9 the second, and so forth.
What a curious lesson plan.
That's why they're called lessons, because they lesson from day to day.
So the 11th day must have been a holiday.
Indeed it was.
But then how did you manage on the 12th day?
Speak nothing of it. Enough about lessons. Tell the girl about the games.
Oh dear.
It's just as if he had a bone in his throat.
You may not have ever lived in the sea.
I haven't.
And you may have not been introduced to a lobster.
Well, I once tasted. I know I haven't.
Then you have no idea how wonderful a lobster quadrille is.
No, indeed. What kind of dance is it?
Well, first, you make a line along the seashore.
No! 2 lines. First you have to clear all the jellyfish out of the way.
Oh.
That takes some time.
Then you advance twice, change lobsters, and retire in the same order.
And you throw all the lobsters as far as you can out to sea.
Swim after them,
Turn a somersault in the ocean.
exchange lobsters once again,
And then swim back to land.
That sounds like a very pretty dance.
It is.
Yes. Would you like to see it? I would love to dance the lobster quadrille one last time.
Indeed I would. Do we have any lobsters?
Oh, there's always some lying about. Who should sing?
Oh, you should. I've forgotten the words.
Right. Will you walk a little faster, slip the whiting through the scale? There's a porpoise close behind us, and he's treading on my tail. See how eagerly the turtles and the lobsters all advance. Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, will you, won't you join the dance? Will you,
Won't you?
will you,
Won't you?
will you,
Won't you
join the dance?
Will you?
Won't you,
Will you?
won't you,
Will you?
won't you join the dance?
That was a very interesting dance to watch. I liked that curious part about the whiting.
Oh, so you know of them?
Oh yes, I've often seen them at dinner. And you know...
Well, I don't know where Din might be. But if you've seen them so often, you must know what they're like.
Oh, why yes, they have their tails in their mouths and they're all covered in crumbs.
No, you're wrong about the crumbs. The crumbs washed off in the sea. But they do have their tails in their mouths, and there's a reason for that. The reason is... Tell her the reason.
See, the reason is that they get thrown so hard and they fall so fast, their tails get stuck in their mouth and they can't get them out again.
Oh.
And that's all.
Why, thank you. I've never known so much about a whiting before.
Oh, you know why it's called a whiting, don't you?
No, I've never thought about it. Why?
Because it does the boots and shoes.
The boots and shoes?
Yes, what are your shoes done with? What makes them so shiny?
Well, blacking, I believe.
Right, and white shoes are done with whiting. you haven't. But enough about us. Tell us about some of your adventures.
Well, I could tell you my adventures starting from this morning, but it is no use going back any further than that because I was a much different person then.
Explain all that.
No, no, no. Adventures first, explanations later. Explanations take such dreadful time. The trial is beginning.
Trial? Whose trial?
Quick, stop, quick.
Just leave me here.
Goodbye, Mr. Carroll. Be brave. I'll come back and visit you later if I can.
I'm afraid bravery won't help him much. I'm going to miss him badly when he's gone. However, he is going to make delicious soup. Get down from there. The trial is beginning. Forgive me as I take my place as bailiff.
Order in the court. Will the jury please sit down?
That means you, miss.
Oh, all right.
Present the evidence.
Late! I was late for presenting the evidence.
Very well, will the jury please examine their evidence?
Ooh, tarts. I do wish they'd get this trial over quickly and hand out their refreshments.
Order. Carroll, read the accusation.
Here you are.
The Queen of Hearts made some tarts all on a summer's day. The Knave of Hearts stole the tarts and took them far away.
Yes, yes, very good, very good. Has the jury reached their verdict?
Not yet. There's quite a lot to come before that.
Yes, Carroll. Dear, what should we do?
Call the first witness.
Call the first witness.
The first witness is the Mad Hatter.
No tea in the courtroom.
You'll have to leave your tea outside.
Oh dear, not her again.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I hadn't quite finished when I was called.
You ought to have finished. When did you begin?
It was the 14th of March, I believe.
Wasn't that the day we had that dreadful concert?
Yes. Someone sang an atrocious song about a bat. Believe I had her head removed.
You must have
Certainly.
silence and take off your hat before the king and queen.
I would, but it's not my hat.
Well, then you stole it.
No, I keep them to sell. I'm a hatter by trade.
Just give us your evidence.
Yes, Your Majesty.
And don't be nervous, or I'll have you executed on the spot.
The list of singers from the last concert.
Oh dear.
Just present your evidence, or I'll have you executed whether you're nervous or not.
I am a poor servant, Your Majesty. I hadn't begun my tea not above a week or so, and what with the bread and butter getting so thin and the twinkling of the teeth.
Twinkling of the what?
I know it began with tea.
I know twinkling begins with a T. What kind of fool do you think I am? Go on.
I am a poor servant, Your Majesty, and most things twinkled after that. But the dormouse said,
I did not.
you did.
I deny it.
He denies it! Leave out that part.
Maybe it was the hair who said it afterwards.
What did the hair say?
That I can't remember.
You must remember, or I'll have you executed.
Let me see the list.
I am a poor servant, Your Majesty.
You're a very poor speaker as well. If that's all you have, then you may stand down.
I can't go any lower. I'm on the floor as it is.
Then you may sit down.
Now just finish my tea.
Just go. You are excused.
You can take her head off outside.
Really, my dear, you must cross-examine the witnesses. It gives me quite a headache.
You are absolutely worthless. Call the next witness.
Next witness. The next witness.
Call the next witness.
The next witness is Alice.
Alice. do you know about this business?
Nothing, Your Majesty.
Nothing whatsoever?
Nothing at all.
That's very important.
But unimportant, Your Majesty means.
Yes, very unimportant. Write that down.
Has the jury reached their verdict?
No! Sentence first, verdict after.
Nonsense! The idea of having a sentence before the verdict.
Hold your tongue. Now I'll ask you again, child. Where were you when the tarts were stolen?
I don't know. I believe I was with the Hatter.
That's extremely unimportant.
Child, if you do not provide more pertinent information, then it will be off with your head.
I can't provide any more pertinent information because I know nothing at all.
That's the most unimportant evidence yet.
Silence! Off with her!
Oh, new evidence! There is new evidence!
Well, let's have it.
What does it say?
I'm not quite sure. I don't have my glasses.
Give it to the rabbit. You, what does it say?
It seems to be a letter written from the prisoner to somebody.
It must be so. Unless, of course, it's written to nobody, which isn't the usual, you know.
Directed to.
It doesn't say. There is nothing on this side.
And what's on the other side?
Flip it. I was wrong about it being a letter. It's a set of verses.
Read them aloud.
Yes.
Well, where should I start?
Start at the beginning. And when you get to the end, stop.
He said that you had been to her and mentioned me to him. You gave me a good character, but said I could not swim.
Well, I can't.
Continuing. He said the word you had not gone. We know it to be true. If she should press the matter on, what will become of you? I gave him 1. They gave her 2. You gave us 3 or 4. They all returned from him to you, though they remind you 4. If I or she should chance to be involved in this affair, we trust that he will set them free exactly as they were. My notion was that you had been, before she had this fit, an obstacle set between him, ourselves, and it.
That's the most important piece of evidence yet.
It's all there in black and white.
If anyone can make any sense of that, I will give them 6 pence.
What?
I don't think there's an atom of meaning in any of that.
Quite right.
Well, if there's no meaning in it, it does save a world of trouble in trying to find any.
Quite right. Off with his head.
Yet, I seem to see some. You really can't swim.
Do I look it?
No, indeed. We know it to be true. That must be the jury. If she should push the matter on, well, that must be the queen. What will become of you?
What indeed?
I gave him 1. They gave her 2.
That must be the tarts. Off with his head.
But Pentacles, and they returned from him to you. Are any of the tarts actually missing?
Why, no. They're all right there. But then again, it does go to say, before she had this fit. You've never had fits, dear.
Never.
And the words don't fit you. It's a pun. All right, I've seen enough. Has the jury considered their verdict?
No! Sentence first, verdict after.
Nonsense!
What did you say, my dear?
I said that's nonsense!
Off with her head.
Now you listen to me. This is no way for a country to be run. You cannot simply go about ordering heads removed because of stretch your fancy. The world does not revolve around you.
Seize her!
I'd like to see you try. I'm not afraid of you. You're nothing but a pack of cards.
Wait a minute, everyone. Now, we all just keep calm and there nobody will get hurt.
Nonsense. We call balance. We love.
Enough! Who started all of this? Off with her head!
I'm so glad to see you. I had the most curious dream.
You were supposed to be listening to my history lesson.
Yes, I recall, but guess.
We're all about to have tea with the doctor. Come along.
But Edith!
We'll finish your lesson some other time.
Edith, listen to me! There was a rabbit in a waistcoat and a baby that turned into a pig, and the whole country was ruled by this Queen of Hearts who had ordered beheadings left and right.
That is a curious dream, dear. But now it's time to go inside. We're expecting.
But Edith, aren't you interested?
I'm afraid it will have to wait until later. Mother and father are waiting.
So, while I was telling the story to all the children, one of them raised their hands and said,
Father! Oh, there you are, Alice here. Quiet, darling. Dr. Dodgson's telling us the most droll story. Mother, I have the most important thing to tell you. I had the strangest dream. Later, dear. Father, aren't you interested?
Not now, Alice.
But Father!
Alice, you are being very rude.
actually, I'd quite like to hear what the girl has to say.
Really?
Wouldn't you prefer to finish your story?
It can wait. Go on. Alice, is it?
Edith, come help me with the tea.
Yes, Mother.
But you were right in the middle of your own.
Actually, I'd like to take a break, if that's all right with you.
Certainly.
Alice, walk with me. Now, tell me about the dream you had.
Why are you interested and not them?
Well, some adults often get too preoccupied with things they think are important to pay attention to the kinds of things that children notice. One thing that I've noticed is that if you don't stop to listen to children every now and again, you miss the kinds of things you once called obvious.
Don't adults dream too?
They do, but they get so dragged down by day-to-day life that it simply just becomes something they don't pay much mind to anymore.
That happened to me.
I doubt it, only if you let it.
Well, I think I ought to. You see, I thought I might like a world that was nothing but nonsense. My dream was like that, but everything turned out to be so awful.
I don't mean living your life in your dreams, my dear. Imagination is a tool that we can use to help us cope with the day-to-day life. And in a way, it helps us see the world as being a sort of wonderland.
Wonderland.
Yeah, that's the real secret to never going. Now, tell me about the dream you had.
Where to begin? Well, I was sitting on this riverbank and a white rabbit came running past.
White rabbit?
Yes, he was wearing a waistcoat and a watch.
Well, I never.
Yeah, so I followed him to his rabbit hole and then I fell down and there was this door that was too small to go through. Dr. Dodgson, what about the tea?
Leave it. I have more important matters to attend to. Where were you, my dear?
And then there was this potion, but I thought it would be stupid to drink something without looking at it first. So I looked at it. You have a very unusual friend.
We have a very unusual daughter.
But it's nice to see that someone can finally speak her language. Maybe he can teach us. Come on, dude, the tea's getting cold.
Thus grew the tale of Wonderland. Thus slowly, one by one, its quaint events were hammered out. And now the tale is done, and home we steer, a merry crew beneath the setting sun. Alice, a childish story take, and with a gentle hand, lay it where childhood's dreams are twined in memory's mystic band. Like pilgrims withered flowers, plucked in a far-off land.
Curiouser and curiouser, call me crazy but I wanna kiss her.